Zando Penguin Audio presents Tourist Season, The Seasons of Carnage Trilogy, Book 1, by Brynne Weaver. Narrated by Samantha Brentmoor and Robert Hatchet.
Hi, this is Brynne Weaver, and I'm going to take you through the content and trigger warnings. As much as Tourist Season is a dark romantic comedy and will hopefully make you laugh through the madness, it's still dark. Please read responsibly. Wood chippers. Creative use of bird feeders. Eyeballs and also eye sockets this time. Ugh, I know. If you've been with me for a while, I think we both resigned ourselves to this one for the foreseeable future, pun intended. Lawn aerators. Scrapbooking, but make it murdery. Gardening, but make that murdery too. Stalking and voyeurism. Breaking and entering, including theft. References to physical and psychological torture. Drowning. Hamburgers. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going to happen, and then it just happened. Birds that enjoy human snacks. Vehicular collisions. A plethora of weapons, including axes, knives, guns, needles, chainsaws, garrotes, and three-hole punches. Explicit language and blasphemy. Murdery use of ropes. Sexy use of ropes. Medical settings and details, including trauma response activities, CPR, hospitals, and long-term recovery. Explicit sexual content, including BDSM, brat/brat tamer kink, impact play, rough sex, adult toys, pain play, and mild knife play. This is a story of two serial killers falling in love, so expect general murder and mayhem. While normally my content warnings are delivered with a lighthearted hand, I want to express this one seriously. Elderly loved one with mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, and early Alzheimer's disease, or AD. Caregiving responsibilities and challenges are also depicted. As a person who has lost multiple close family members to AD and who worked in the field of Alzheimer's research for over a decade, I am deeply sensitive to the emotional turmoil caused by the loss of personhood due to dementia. I know how difficult it is to be a caregiver to someone with MCI or AD. While I hope to show the beautiful complexity of this elderly character, from his fear and confusion to his humor and resilience, please know that some readers might find this exploration of memory loss triggering. More detailed information that you might find helpful: mild cognitive impairment, or MCI. Subtle changes in memory and thinking that may indicate a transition to other dementia conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. The term may be used interchangeably with early Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, or AD. A progressive, degenerative, neurological disease with symptoms such as memory loss, difficulty thinking, mood and behavioral changes, psychological challenges such as paranoia, depression, hallucinations, restlessness, and many others not listed here. It is divided into three primary phases: mild, moderate, and severe. Though not explicitly stated in the story and complicated by other medical conditions, the character in the book who has this illness exhibits symptoms of mild to moderate AD. Dementia, an umbrella medical term for a number of distinct neurological conditions that represent the impairment of at least two brain functions. MCI and AD are classified as dementia conditions. A portion of the royalties from the sale of this series will be donated to the Alzheimer's Association of the U.S. and the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. When I first announced this series, so many of you asked, "Will you ruin any foods? And will there be eyeballs?" You are truly phenomenal, and I love you. This one's for you. Also, yes.
Erosion. Harper. I'm sure nobody goes on vacation expecting to be dismembered and put through a wood chipper, but some tourists are just assholes and deserve their fate. Like the guy in the Bowie and Beacon pub last year who cornered Selma Dayton by the bathrooms. I was there. I heard her tell him no. When I came around the corner from the bar, he was trying to kiss her and slide a hand up her shirt. Piece of shit. Wood chipper. Or the guy who got drunk and high and crashed through a fence at Dale Linden's farm and then proceeded to chase his horses through the field. They panicked, of course. One of them fell and broke a leg. Dale had to put it down. Even though he called the cops, Sheriff Yates was too lazy to do anything more than write a police report. As usual. Wood chipper. Or the man whose dismembered hand I'm holding now, Mr. Bryce Mahoney. I saw him at Carnage Country Grocery trying to take pictures up women's skirts with his phone. When I stole his wallet and looked him up, I found he'd already been discovered and charged with the same crime in 2 other states. And yet, there he was, traipsing around Carnage like he fucking owned the place, barely concealing the fact that he was up to the same shit yet again. Definitely the wood chipper. I hum to myself as I examine his palm, the skin pale like a wax imitation of the real thing. It's cold, heavier than I expected, especially with such stubby fingers. I turn the severed hand over and trace the network of veins that weaves over the bones. They were full of life only hours ago. He knew their pattern. He could probably tell me how he got the jagged little scar over one knuckle. I'm sure he had a story about how he got the stitches that marked his skin with dots of scar tissue. Maybe I should feel guilty that I took those memories from him. But I don't, I say, as I toss his hand into the hopper of the blue wood chipper. Cookie Monster has been my faithful tool through 12 tourists now, including Mr. Mahoney. And he's always hungry for more, just like me. The pitch of the chipper drops a few notes as it chews through the flesh and bone, spraying it onto the tarp I've set up next to the flower bed. Maybe once upon a time I would have felt remorse, but I left that person behind when I came to Cape Carnage 4 years ago. When I started a new life. When I promised to keep my past hidden and protect this sanctuary of secrets. And I'm not about to let anyone like Bryce fucking Mahoney ruin my town. I cast my gaze across my garden. We're in that in-between time of year. Not spring, not quite summer. Only the daffodils and tulips and snowdrops have bloomed. And yet, the tourists have already started to come. They're chartering fishing boats. They're renting equipment and booking tours of the sunken HMS Carnage our town was named for, and the numerous other shipwrecks hidden off the rocky coast. They're exploring the museum. They peruse the artsy and quaint and quirky downtown. They trek up the 152 steps to the Cape Carnage Lighthouse. They head to the local distilleries and vineyards to sample whiskeys and wines. It might be odd, a little macabre at times, but to me, it's paradise. Our little town only has a few thousand permanent residents, including me. When the height of tourist season peaks with the Taste of Terror Food Festival at the end of the summer, we'll be wildly outnumbered. And I get it. I really do. With a moniker like Cape Carnage, it makes sense that the town wants to leverage its unusual name in history to attract vacationers. These short, precious summer months will sustain us in the depths of winter when no one will come. So, I take my role in keeping the town beautiful very seriously, just like I do keeping it safe. I return my attention to the bloodied plastic bag at my feet. I've saved the best for last. Bryce Mahoney's lower leg. There's a cheap tattoo of a trout on the waxen skin beneath thick hair. Just a single, hideous fish hiding a flat scar. I crinkle my nose and then push his leg into the hopper, readying myself for the deep sense of serenity that will inevitably wash over me as every last inch of flesh and bone is consumed by the machine. Except, that's not what happens. The chipper screeches and whines. My hands fly up to cover my head. The smell of burning rubber floods my nostrils. It's an assault on my senses. Deafening and pungent and confusing. It takes an instant too long for it to click that I need to move. I hit the kill switch on the fender of the tractor to stop the PTO shaft, but not before there's a bang so loud that my ears ring. I turn off the tractor engine and stare in shock at the chipper. Jesus, Cookie, what in the ever-loving fuck? I hiss. Breaths riot in my lungs. I stare at Cookie Monster as though the wood chipper has personally wronged me. But when I finally open the panels and access the blades, I find the problem wasn't the chipper at all. The problem is fucking Bryce mocking me from the afterlife. I yank his mangled leg from the machine. The bone is shattered. Half of...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?